Welcome back, everybody. So here we are with issue 13. So let's see what we did last time. As you know, we did the bunch of the framework, and let's see what we're going to get into this time. So in this issue, we'll talk about the Millennium Falcon. It is in the bonus issue from issue 12. I wasn't sure if the Millennium Falcon was an FP or just an F, and it says it's an FP. So there you go. I guess we learn things all over the place. So we're going to learn about that, and then we're going to have part 3 of the Secrets of Spaceflight. And this is all about the flight control and speed control, looks like. Again, we have some behind-the-scenes stuff. We're going to visit Camino here, and so that should be interesting especially for those that like the prequels. You should find that interesting, Clone War stuff. And here we are. So so looks like we're going to assemble the wall for the hold. So let's get our pieces for this issue. And we have our plating, some more framework, some tubes. We have these things, and I don't see where any screws came, but let's see. Fixing screws. Apparently I didn't pull the screws, but don't worry, I think we have enough. So let's go ahead and set that over here. Let's open this up, just because I think these pieces are inside of here. So let's see what we got. Yep, so we have those two pieces there. So I don't like how those are shiny, and I don't like how these are shiny. So I'm going to have to figure out a way. That just rolled right off. I'll pick that up in a minute. I'm going to have to figure out a way to de-shinify them. So luckily I have some, which one's this one? That's clear gloss. I have some matte, some clear matte. So we'll probably be painting that on here, and then that will also give us something that we can, if we want to, dirty them up or add some extra details, we can do that. So we have these supports here, and yeah. So let's see what we're going to be doing here. Well, some of this we've already done, but if we're doing the entire hold, this may end up being multiple issues or videos again, but we'll see how this goes as we work through it. So the good part is we've already done this part. Okay. Then we've got, we put the DeAgostini table in. We don't have let's get all these parts here. So we have those. Let's see, what is these other parts? I have that. And these other two wall pieces here. So this one will be this wall piece there. And this one is, that wall piece there. So, no. I don't know where that one is, because I'm pretty sure this one goes here. So maybe I'm missing a wall piece. Those are going to go like that. And then this will come here. Right? So, I'm missing a wall piece. I'll have to find that, obviously. So, let's just kind of make sure that we have everything. And we will be attaching the DeAgostini table this time. And then when we get this attached, this wall attached, looks like this is going to screw in place. So when it screws in place, then we'll be able to finally attach this. So we'll get that attached. Wherever that short wall piece is, it's got to be around here somewhere because it would have came in a previous issue. So let's make sure we get everything else that we need. Yep, these are all attached. Yep. Okay, then we're going to attach that. So we're going to have to paint this piece, this piece, this piece, and wherever that short wall piece is, we'll have to paint that as well. We're going to have to clear coat those. We'll probably end up painting these as well. I'll figure out if I want to do the same color as the walls or a slightly different color. I'll look at some pictures and stuff for that. And see what else we have. Ooh, some more tubes. All right, so is that these? Yes. So let's go ahead and get this cut off. Now, she said that I could just clean this up on the sprue, but where's the fun in that? And just clean up the ends, which she's right. I could do that. I don't know why that one's got a hole in it. Weird. Alright, so there's that one. And then we have, that one's got a little tab on it. And this one does not have a tab, doesn't look like. So this little tab must fit into a hole. Yep, there's a hole. Let's see if you can see that. Right. There you go. Right back there in the corner. That's a hole. And then this will go in here like that. So we'll make sure we get these painted up, all that kind of stuff. So they've already kind of dirtied it up, but I'll look at some pictures and that kind of stuff, and maybe we'll put some of the this our little science station or technology station will get attached as well. Let's see what else. Okay, so yeah, we have those rods. This goes on the floor. Those pieces. All right, so we've got all the pieces. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go double check the images to identify if this needs to be colored a different way. I'm also going to see if I can determine if there's any other markings that need to be on these, as well as any possible markings on these rods. And then we'll go from there. I will get these pieces primed. Find that other small corner piece. Get all the pieces primed and then painted, and then we'll come back after all that's done. So I'll catch you when all that's done. Welcome back, everybody. So here we are. I've done pretty much most of the painting anyway. I do have some touch up. So like these rods here. So these, I was using the blue tack and to hold them up. So the ends here didn't get painted. So I'll just touch those up with a brush real quick, and probably have to do a little bit of sanding here because it's got a bit of a paint buildup. And then I have this piece here. I'll just clean this little nubbin up so that way it can get glued properly. And here's the walls. So I tried to make sure I painted the tops. I didn't worry about the sides too much because the sides, you can see, I ran out of gray primer, so I'm in white now. But the sides are going to be covered up by the next wall. So I tried to make sure I got the tops done. Unfortunately, I was using the Tamiya German Gray XF63, and I ran out. And so what I had to do, and I was able to get the walls done with that, and that was about it. Like, that was the last of what I could do. So I switched to the Vallejo German gray. As you can tell, the Vallejo is not the same gray, German gray, as these other pieces. So not all German grays are the same, are equal. So, and these were meant to be gray, just a light gray. I was more or less happy with the color that they were, but some reason I decided to paint them instead of, well, actually I was going to do them the same color here, but I want them to kind of stand out a little bit because they're going to be down in here, I think. I'm not sure. And so I want them to kind of stick out a little bit, so that's why I did that. And this one, I painted gray, this color gray first, and then I came back with a silver just to kind of, because the piece that I saw, the image that I saw right here, kind of looks like it's silver, so I wanted to go with that instead of the white like this that it was. This one I think is right. It just needed to be dirty, which it already is, so we're just going to leave this one the way it is. And it goes in like this, actually, I think. So, yeah, so here's the station. It's going to go in here and fit in like that, and it'll be just like that when it goes in. So let's go ahead and look to see what we're going to do this time. So I do, real quick, I do have some touch-up I'm going to do on these. I'll kind of test fit these to see how noticeable it is. I think this is the side that's going to be facing. You can see that there's kind of a rib there. I think that's the side that's facing, so as long as everything is covered up, I probably won't worry about it too much. I may need to touch it up a little bit, like you can see some white there. I want to make sure that these bottoms are good and all that kind of stuff, and so I'll touch up where needed there. These things were kind of a pain to paint because trying to hold them in a good spot to paint them and do it in a mass fashion was kind of a real pain. So there's probably going to be some touch-ups on that as well. So we'll get those touched up and whatnot. So let's see what we got going on here. So, I had 5 of those. Make sure I get that over here. And this is one of the original pieces that I painted. Oh, don't want to lose that. All right. So we're going to put on our DeAgostini table. And we're going to put on a couple walls. And we may put this wall on. Trying to figure out how much we're going to do in this episode before we move on. So for now, let's go ahead and set this off to the side. We'll bring in this piece. So we've got this done here. We've got our DeAgostini table here. So the DeAgostini table doesn't screw in or anything. It just sits on here. I'm going to glue it in place, but there's a couple of questions. So right here, these are the sides you play from. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to put this. So I'm thinking probably the closest to accurate is like that. Now, it's interesting. The book shows it like this, which might be a tad bit more accurate, but I can't do that. So I'm thinking like this. Chewbacca would be sitting there. And 3PO would be sitting next to him with R2 over here. Or I could do it like this. That would leave Chewbacca sitting over here with no back, and I remember him leaning back. So I think it was more like this. In fact, let's take a look at this image here to see what it looks like. And yeah, so this is probably the most accurate way to put it. So we'll put that right there, and I'm just going to glue that in place. So let's get our tape out here. Get ourselves a micro brush. And so one of the things, I don't think that I actually glued this one in place. I think I just pressed it in place. So what I might do is come back and just put a touch of glue on these to hold it in place when I'm all done. So let's get our glue. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here on this little square here. And it's crazy how fast this glue goes. I don't know if you guys can really see this, but let me see. I'll mark it with my finger. So that's the level of the glue. And I just got this like a few issues ago. So yeah, it goes quick. All right, so we'll just put some glue around there. I don't want to have so much glue that when I press this down, it seeps out. And you can see it. All right, the DeAgostini table is in. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put this piece on. And so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue through here. Actually, I'm going to pass on putting the glue on. I'll put the glue on the dovetails at the end. I just want to make sure that everything fits. Some reason I vaguely remember some of these parts having to come back out in the future. So these were the screws that I thought I needed, but let me pull one of these out. So if you can tell, if this screw is supposed to be the one that's going in there, it's there's not a lot of it that's going to be actually holding anything in place. So keep dropping the screw. And unfortunately, my little desk, the front end slopes down, so the moment it gets to the edge, it's gone. See if I can get this held up here. And yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but there's not much of that screw, those screw threads sticking through. So I'm guessing those aren't the right screws. It doesn't tell you which screws to use. Let me see. See if I can. Yeah, it doesn't say which screws to use. So the instructions just say, screw the upper corner of the walls together with a self-tapping screw inserted through the starboard wall. So we're going to go with these longer ones. Put a couple of these out here because we're going to need several. By a couple, I mean all of them apparently. That screw started. There we go. Good thing they're self-tapping. There we go. Snug it up. There we go. You can kind of see where that one kind of bowed stuff out. Then we put our back wall in, and this, if you notice, this one's got a bit of a curve to it. I think you can see that there. So, kind of interesting that they made the curve. I don't know if they did it on, like, just to kind of help it, what would make sense, or if they did it because when you put it all inside, you have to have it there. I'm not sure. But, I mean, it would be curved because of the way that the Falcon is shaped. So I kind of find that interesting. There we go. And this is going to allow me to finally glue that wire on. So when we get to that point, we'll get that wire glued on too. Oh, I just stuck my hand in glue. I think I stuck the whole thing in the glue. There. Some of these screws are not equal. There we go. So that is screwed on there, nice and tight. Just check it again. Make sure we get it good and tight. Yep. All right. So we have that. So now we're matching our image here. Now we're going to put this piece in and this wall here, one of our original walls. So let's just kind of go through this. So the pipe support is what this is called, and attach it to the floor using 4 screws. Slide the alcove end wall into place against the pipe support, and screw the inside corner of the alcove together with 2 screws. The exposed screw heads will be replaced later at a later stage in the assembly. So I do know about that. So basically, you pull the screws out, and then I think there's some plastic dowels or something you're going to put in there. And when I do that, I may um, use some of the putty and blend it all in, as well as with this seam here in the wall, so you don't see it. And then we'll put this wall on, and that, I think we'll call that an end to this issue. So well, I guess I don't really need any more glue. I'm gonna get this out of the way so I don't have to worry about making any more of a mess. All right. So this part goes to the front when you put this on, and you can see our full 4 holes there. Right here, 2 and 2. So that's where they're going to go through. I wonder if we have to use the long ones or we can use these short ones. I'm just going to stick one of these short ones up through the floor and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that short one will work. Alright, so this part to the front. Just going to snug that. Alright, snug that one. Get 2 more screws here. So you don't want to over tighten, because I'm feeling you could probably strip these out. Alright, so that goes in there. Then this is going to fit right through here. I didn't think that was fitting in right. I don't know what the holdup is. What's holding you up? There we go. Okay, so I'm going to try just using a couple of these smaller screws. Since they're only temporary, I don't really want to. I probably could have used the smaller screws on all of it, but we're just going to be holding this in place anyway. There's my other screwdriver. I need something a bit longer. Try to get this turned around so you can see it. So all the holes on the outside, I think you leave the screws in place. It's the ones on this inside that obviously you don't want to leave there because it breaks the illusion. And this goes in here. I'm not sure why that cutout is there, but hey, it's not for me to decide, right? Let's go ahead and put these longer ones in to make sure it's good and secure. There we go. I don't know if you can hear the herd of elephants upstairs, but apparently the dogs are doing something, and my wife wanted to have my daughter interact with them or something. Some of these are, I think, bigger than others. Because some just slide right in. Like this one up here, it did not want to go in. That's better. And you can see that the seam is pretty good there. All right. So this wall here is in one of the upcoming issues. I know because I pulled it when I was going through, and I pull 4 issues at a time. So I've pulled up to issue 16, so I kind of know what parts are coming up, although I haven't really done, like a deep dive, and I don't remember which one. I just know that this wall is coming up. Now, whether or not we actually put it in on that same issue or not, I don't know. But there we go. And then the next part, I think we'll do this next part in the next video because I'm going to spend some extra time dolling some of this stuff up. And I may have a bit of an additional thing um, uh, outside of, kind of the extra little things that I have been doing. I may have another little extra thing that I'm going to do. Um, so there you go. The next time we'll put these pipes in, we'll put the science station in or the technical station. We'll get that put in, and then we'll do these pipes, do a few extra things with that. See, here's that piece here, and it's kind of silver, and the images that I could see easily anyway. So with that, I'm going to say, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll get this part glued in too now that we can, and hopefully it glues in easily enough. I feel like I may have cut it just a tad bit too short, but we'll try to get that glued in. But there you go. That is everything for this issue here. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. I'll catch you in the next one. And may the force be with you always.